Darts Premier League Night 16 is here. My name's Corbin from the Parlay Club, and I've got the best bets and the plays the books do not want you knowing about. As always, drop a like, comment, subscribe, all of that fun stuff. Let me know who you think is going to win and what other content you want to see. We've got the French Open starting this weekend, so we'll be doing a preview video on that. Obviously, we've got the World Cup coming up, all of that fun stuff. So, yeah, quite a lot to keep us going, even though this is the second to last darts week. Last week, we cashed on Van Gerwen plus 3.5 as a parlay piece with PSG to win or draw double chance, which cashed, which was lovely. Had a huge Premier League tournament to go along with that. Obviously, cashed the futures, Bunting and Rock not to make the playoffs, and Littler to finish top. So they're all now guaranteed and wrapped up. And it just, I think we're like 24 and 10 or something for Darts Premier League alone, not including some of the pieces that are also in cross-sport parlays and all of that fun stuff. So yeah, been a really good 16 weeks so far. This is the last week of the tournament style, so the 8 players. They're in Sheffield. Basically, the top player is playing the bottom player, second players playing second from bottom, and so on. The playoffs are already decided and wrapped up. The top four, so obviously Littler, Clayton, Price, and Humphreys. Van Gerwen's in fifth, but can't catch them even if he won the night. So it's all kind of sewn up. The only thing they're playing for is to depend who's going to finish third and fourth, actually, because first and second, I think, are wrapped up. So yeah, it's really between Price and Humphreys with any kind of motivation. And I feel like that's going to play quite a big factor into this week. Let's get into it. The first game is Johnny Clayton versus Bunting. I'm going to mention it as we go along, but the fact there's no motivation for either of these players, I think, makes it incredibly tough to pick. On paper, it's just Clayton all day. Clayton's been the better player, he's the better scorer, he's the better average, he has the way more points than Bunting, but then it's just, again, neither of these need to win. It means literally nothing this game. I mean, you have to go for Clayton just in the fact that he's playing the better. He can't go up, he can't go down in the rankings. Both played similar players' championships over the last 2 days, which are the smaller tournaments that they play without a crowd behind closed doors. They both reached the quarter final in one and had an early rounds exit in the other, which is kind of strange, particularly for Clayton. I think you just have to pass completely. Maybe, I mean, Clayton could make this look silly, this situation silly, because he is just the better player. But again, the motivation, if he just rocks up and doesn't care, anyone can win a dance match in first to six. So Clayton maybe for a unit, but otherwise I think you just have to pass. Price versus Van Veen. So as I mentioned, Price is one of him and Humphreys are the only two playing for actively anything here. He's currently in third place, which means that he would play Clayton in the knockouts, as opposed to if he drops down to fourth, he would play Littler. Again, Price doesn't strike me as someone who particularly cares if he finishes third or fourth. I'm almost questioning his belief whether he truly thinks he can win this tournament, especially given with how he's played over the last few weeks. Well, last week he was better, but the previous month he had really fallen off a cliff. As I'd mentioned, he's playing in a pool tournament the same day as these as the finals for the Premier League, which again, it's just like, does he really care? Is he just going to turn up and have a laugh and a joke? I think Price is the side. I think you can take Price for, again, a unit. I wouldn't go any more than that. The problem is I don't trust Van Veen at all. I harp on about it every week. I think he's completely overrated. Obviously missed the playoffs. I can't trust Van Veen to do anything in this matchup or in any matchup at the minute. Price, actually, these two played each other last week. Price won 6-4. Van Veen had an awful Players' Championships. He was just not good. Again, I've got to lean Price just because he should have slightly more motivation than Van Veen, but I can't say it with any kind of real assurance or confidence, just given the situation unfolding. Just want to quickly mention what we have up for clients. Well, been a huge week. I was saying last week how we had a massive down week and had a massive up week last week. 6-0 weekend, winning over 18 units, 5% plays, really was the top of it. Mix in loads of future cashes on obviously the darts, as I just mentioned, some soccer ones, and we still have more to cash. So that number's only going to go up. We're above the plus 130 mark again, due to basically all the futures that have been cashing. A few more still pending. I feel like that shows why you can't measure off 1 week's success. If you bought last week, then you would have been mad, rightfully so, at how badly that went. But if you bought this week, it's completely polar opposites. That's why it shows I highly recommend that you get a month subscription. And to add on to that, we've got huge plays coming up. So already have a 5% UFC play up. That goes off in over a week. There is no UFC this week. French Open tennis starts this weekend. That lasts 2 weeks. And then we've got Wimbledon again in just over a month. So yeah, all guns blazing. Tennis is obviously my best sport. I think we're near the 50 unit mark already for the year in that. And we've only had one major. Majors are where I make my most money because you get basically the top players against the bottom players, and you can really kind of find these mismatches, particularly on clay surfaces, which they only play for about a month or so a year. So, yeah, promo code. I'm doing a promo code to celebrate all the success and to give some new clients some kind of cheaper ways in to at least see how it goes. Promo code May gets you $15 off a month's pass. I mentioned got loads up. Highly recommend jumping on. Link me in my bio to take you to my DubClub where you can subscribe. Use that promo code and get $15 off a month's pass. Spreadsheets also there. If you want to see what kind of plays, records, all of that fun stuff. So yeah, highly recommend jumping on that. Let's get back into the darts action. Next match is Luke Littler versus Josh Rock. Both, again, playing for nothing here. Littler should win this match easily, but again, motivation. 8-0 in the head-to-head to Littler, and Rock hasn't really got close to him in any of the Premier League matches. Littler beat Clayton 6-0 last week emphatically to guarantee he finishes top, and I think he just sent a huge message to the field. Rock lost to Jan van Veen. He was just so poor again. It's just the same story from Rock. Low 90s average, poor checkouts. Again, I said it, I keep going on about it, but Littler, if anyone's going to rock up and not care, it's Littler. He might just rock up, just not practice, just be lazy, because again, it simply doesn't mean anything to him. On paper, he should win this easily. And I wonder if that's why he's only minus 390 and not near minus 700, quite honestly. If you want to play Littler, I think the perfect piece comes in the next match with Humphreys versus Van Gerwen. And quite honestly, it's just Humphreys' money line. Again, this game means something to Humphreys in that he can go from 4th to 3rd place, which again means he avoids Littler round 1 in the playoffs in the final I think it's next week anyway. He's picking up steam and momentum. He's won the Players' Championship that I mentioned, the smaller tournament. He won Night 15 last week. Again, he's kind of just building in the right direction. And I think him continuing that momentum means more for him than Van Gerwen. Van Gerwen has been awful. He's just going in the wrong direction. Averaged 87 last week and was quite honestly lucky to be remotely close in that game. I really like Humphreys here at around the minus 200, minus 195 mark, purely for the fact that he can still upgrade his ranking. He has the form, he has the momentum, and everything kind of goes in his favor. I don't know if they've got anything for the week after. So they have the top four now. Again, I'm surprised Clayton is plus 650 with price minus 400, but I really think Luke Humphreys might be bringing something together here. I wouldn't hate a sprinkle on him at plus 300. I think, again, it depends how it works out, but I definitely, if Humphreys ends up finishing third, I think we could quite easily see the Luke final, which would be great. Again, such a quick format, you can't really pick a winner, but I like the Humphreys at plus 300. I think Humphreys wins. I think he could win this night. That could be a good bet because, again, I feel like Humphreys is the only one with motivation other than Price, but Price doesn't have the same kind of form as Humphreys. So yeah, if your book has the to win a night, Humphreys must be he must be he must be Littler will be favour for the night, so he must be again. He's probably plus 300. I would say that that's probably a sprinkle. So yeah, it's really all Humphreys for me this week. Just want to remind everyone before I finish here. Um, huge month coming up. If you want to take advantage and hop on some of the client plays, click the link in the bio to go to the DubClub, add the month's subscription to your basket, and then use the promo code May. It's on screen. $15 off. Huge. I love this UFC play that I've got. 5% max play, French Open tennis, Wimbledon coming up, World Cup, and futures for World Cup. The darts. There's just so much. So yeah, highly recommend jumping on. Like, comment, and subscribe. All that fun stuff. And yeah, good luck.